For the 15th. Don't miss the Top Gun 6K night run over at the Lee Victory Recreation Park. You've heard us talking about the Red Cross and their critically low on blood. Call them and set up an appointment at a time that fits your schedule. Phone 1-800-RED-CROSS. Those are WGNS Good Neighbor events.
We're News Radio WGNS 100.5, 101.9, 1450. Online and on your phone at WGNSradio.com. Rutherford Issues with Brian Barrett on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSradio.com.
We're back on Rutherford Issues, powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. You know, their Sharing Change has donated more than $11 million to local nonprofits, assisting worthy causes right here in our community. MTE, serving to make life better since 1936. Time for us to chat with our friends from Interfaith Dental. And this morning, we have the honor of having Dr. Roy Thompson on with us today, and lots to talk about with Interfaith. But Dr. Thompson, good morning.
Good morning, Brian.
Good to have you here this morning. And we were just talking about, I remember seeing your billboard over by L&K Trophy, you know, saying I'm retiring and balloons everywhere. So you're definitely enjoying that time of life.
That billboard brought a lot of attention that we really didn't anticipate. But there are a lot of people that say, hey, congratulations on retirement. I'm like, I don't think I even know you, so I'm glad you noticed it.
I did too.
The Star Bodies are having fun carrying on the tradition that, you know, I established in that practice.
Yeah.
But we're not here to talk about my practice.
That is true, but you have been such an integral part of Interfaith Dental. I know that I've had conversations with Michelle about that, and kind of talk to me about the history with you and Interfaith Dental.
Well, years ago, I would say 15 to 18 years ago, I started volunteering with the Interfaith Dental Clinic in Nashville. And through the years, we found the most of the people that came from out of Davidson County to Interfaith, the biggest percentage of them came from Rutherford County.
Wow.
So some 15 years ago, our director there, Rhonda Switzer, she approached me. She kind of was waiting until I said, okay, I'm ready. But she approached me about, what do we do about getting a clinic in Rutherford County? So I think it's been now 14 years. We went to the Christy Houston Foundation and made a plea to them. They gave us an initial grant, and then we tallied up after that through the community contributions, individual contributions, and we got this clinic started out on Robert Rose. So it's a second satellite. It's the only satellite of the clinic in Nashville, and we've had great success.
So if you look back at the history, though, Interfaith has definitely grown and serves not only Davidson and Rutherford, but 8 additional counties now. So it's continued to grow.
It does. We find that the need, we could have many more clinics. The need is so great. It's really amazing that we started from basically a closet at West End Methodist Church. They said, look, we had one dentist, Tom Underwood, that said, why am I going internationally to do mission work when there's so much to do right here in Nashville? Mm-hmm. And so he talked the church into giving him the room. We borrowed some equipment, and it started there. It's grown from that time. The clinic in Nashville just moved into the old Aladdin building that was on Murfreesboro Road. They remodeled that building, so we have a first-class facility over there. But we serve people from all the surrounding counties.
Why is it that dental care is the one thing we seem to put off? It gets to a point, like you were saying, you had more people from Rutherford County going to Nashville, and the need is here, but why is the need here, do you think, I guess, is a better way to put it?
I'm not certain the need is here any more than anywhere else. The need for dentistry everywhere is great. People are fearful of the dentist. Oddly, dental disease is easily prevented by home care. And a lot of people think, well, I've just got soft teeth. It's no such thing as soft teeth. They may be soft because they're starting to decay, but your teeth are good. Oddly, when infants are born, they don't have the bacteria in their mouth that causes decay. people don't understand this. They get infected with that bacteria by their mothers and fathers kissing them, by tasting their food and then putting it in their mouth. And so the parents infect the child with the bacteria that causes decay. Now we've known that for years.
Wow.
So, and once you have that, then you're susceptible to the starting the process of decay in the mouth. It just adds to it when we have so much sugar and refined carbohydrates in our diet. So we see this as the case. And dentists are scary. I think when I came in and shook your hand, I even felt you pulled back a little bit because you knew I was a dentist.
Well, I'm going to tell you a secret here. So when I have guests come in and they're nervous about coming into the studio and being on the air, I do tell them that this is just like a trip to the dentist without the Novocaine. Don't worry, it'll be fine. So
we appreciate that support.
I bet you do. Dr. Roy Thompson with us here this morning. One thing about Interfaith is volunteers. You mentioned the doctor in Nashville who said instead of going internationally, let's do that here. You have to have volunteers to run the clinic. You've been volunteering, I guess, since the beginning, haven't you?
For very close to the beginning. And we do have a full-time staff at the clinic. It is not a volunteer clinic. So dentistry, because of the nature of the care, someone has to coordinate it. So is the filling done first, or is it going to be a root canal or the cleaning? So, and we know volunteers have certain areas of interest. Some volunteers may prefer not to see children. Some may prefer not to do certain type of filling. So that full-time staff really goes, okay, how do we pair this volunteer with what's being done today on the schedule?
And maximize their time, I would sure, too.
Yes. But we take dentists, and I say dentists, and I use that word generically, dentists, dental assistants, dental hygienists. We have administrative individuals that come in volunteer. We even have pre-dental students from MTSU that come over and do some intake forms on patients, so they get a look at the clinic. So we take volunteers at all levels. I believe we have what is called the dentist of distinction, and those are dentists that have contributed, I believe it's $1,200 a year or 10 hours a month, something like that. I can't tell you the exact numbers, but we have about 300 of those dentists between Nashville and Murfreesboro. And so we have a lot of volunteers. We can't do what we do without the volunteers.
And we haven't also talked about endodontics. I think that's, am I saying that close? I guess with the services of Interfaith, what can Interfaith do for folks?
We do everything. A lot of people think, oh, Interfaith Clinic, it's a volunteer clinic. I go get teeth taken out. Yes, we do extractions, but we do full service. Oddly, we have dentists in the community that may volunteer to do the orthodontics on a patient. We have oral surgeons that will place implants. So this is not just a patch up. This is a comprehensive care clinic. Now, our focus when we say we get someone healthy is we get them disease and infection free. We get them what we call the social six, the six front teeth, upper and lower, so people can smile with confidence. They are more employable. And we consider that at that level they're healthy. We try to teach them the right health care, so at home they're taking care of their teeth also. Because that's really the goal, is to not just fix teeth, but to get people healthy and get them where they can take care of themselves.
And this, every time I think about that, I remember some of the stories that Michelle has shared, and Stories Behind the Smile is just always an uplifting story, and it changes lives. I'm sure you've been there for many of those, and there are probably a lot of memorable ones.
The stories what we do with Stories Behind the Smiles, it is a fundraiser. It is our big fundraiser of the year. This year, our goal is to raise $100,000. And part of that is we have patients. We normally have 2 patients, sometimes 3 from Interfaith, that have been through the program, and they want to tell their story. And there are times when they tell that story and people in the crowd are crying, because it is so touching to hear them that their life has been changed. I remember one time a young mother was talking, and she had TMJ, or joint problems, and she was in constant pain. And oral surgeon got involved. She got her teeth fixed. She got out of pain, and she relayed how upsetting it was and demoralizing that it hurt so bad that she couldn't read a story to her child at bedtime. And you hear stories like that, and they touch your heart. And,
Sure.
and the stories go on and on of people that really have turned their life around, that were so far down. There's a stigma, Brian, when you see somebody, and we do this without thinking, we see somebody that has a black front tooth or a missing front tooth, and we oddly think less of them for some reason. We don't think, what's the situation that I could get in personally that I could be in poor health? And life happens to some people.
Sure.
And all of a sudden, when you're faced with feeding your children or paying the electric bill, teeth are secondary.
And that's where Interfaith comes in. I know that the last fiscal year you all have been very busy. I think you've got a few stats you can share on that before we touch more on this year's story behind the smiles.
Yes, well, we have a $2 million budget. So I correct that. Our budget, I think, is about $1.5 million in Rutherford County. The Nashville budget's even bigger. But we serve last year about 3,500 patients. That's Murfreesboro and Nashville together. About 1,300 or 1,400 of those were in Rutherford County. And that's patient numbers. That's nearly 12,000 clinic visits. We provided about $7.8 million of patient care value. And we raised over nearly $2 million was our fundraising last year. We have some participation from government programs. We do see low-income individuals that are on Medicaid. We see some adults now. There's some dentistry in Tennessee that's covered by Medicare. But most of our money comes from private sources and patient fees.
And private sources being those who are willing to donate and come to an event like Story Behind the Smiles, right?
Oh, I'm certain I'm going to invite you before this interview's over.
Well, let's talk about the date for Story Behind the Smiles. It's October 26th, and kind of tell us the details, where, and tickets, and sponsors, and all that good stuff.
Well, I want to thank Dr. Rachel Johnson and Jeff Bell first. They are the co-event chairs this year, and thankfully, they did it last year, too. It's a great event. We have it out at the View at Gateway Fountains, a nice venue, and we do it around Halloween, and we let people dress up that choose to. So there were several people dressed up last year. I may even don a costume this year myself. Yes, we'll see about that. We have about 200 people come. Our presenting sponsor is Ascension St. Thomas Rutherford Hospital. And basically, we tell people it does not cost to come to the event. We have tables of 10, and we look for 20 table captains that will invite friends and tell them it's a fundraiser. Come listen. If you choose to donate, we would appreciate it. But we make sure people know. But it does not cost. It's not one of these where it's $100 a ticket or anything. And you listen to the stories. I think we have a little silent auction at the same time. We have fun. We acknowledge the dentists of distinction, those that have contributed their time or money. It's a time to celebrate the success of Interfaith and to raise money so that we can continue more successes in the future.
And, of course, another part of that is, having a few patients share their story and how Interfaith has changed their lives. So if you'd like to be a part of that, again, it's October 26th. I'm sure that there's still room for some sponsorships on many levels.
Yes, we have different sponsors. We have right now 10 table captains. We have a meeting coming up. I'm certain we'll have others. As I said, the goal is 20. We do have sponsorship levels. You can look at our website, which is www.interfaithdental.com. Or you can call Michelle, who is our primary development officer, 615-653-9497. And you can find out just how you could become a sponsor or become active or come as a guest. We'd take you at any of those. We reach into the community different ways. A lot of people don't know about Interfaith, but there are several groups we work with in the community where patients come through us. Some of those are the St. Louis Clinic, We work closely with Greenhouse Ministry, with Doors of Hope. We also oddly work with the Tennessee Oncology Department. And people, your listeners may hear that and go, Tennessee, why are they sending patients? Well, when people are going to be put on chemotherapy, the oncologists do not want them to have any infection anywhere in their body. And in their mouth, it's often unseen infection. So they have to be cleared by a dentist before they start their chemotherapy. So we get referrals routinely from the oncology department at the hospital.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. I've got maybe 45 seconds. Any parting words here for us, Dr. Thompson?
How do you qualify for interfaith? First, if you have dental insurance, you do not qualify. So you've got to be uninsured. 250% of the poverty level. People hear that and they, well, what's that? That's about $45,000 for a family of 3. So that's the income level we look for. And you've got to make a commitment. You've got to make a commitment to us that you are going to show up for your appointments, that you're going to learn how to take care of your teeth, and that you're going to do it on a regular basis. And then we take care of you. You are treated first class. We do have a waiting list, but if you find yourself in need, we would love to have you call us.
More information online at interfaithdental.com. And again, don't forget, Story Behind the Smiles. If you want to go, reach out. Go to interfaithdental.com. And again, that's on the 26th of October at the View at Gateway Fountains. And also, if you're a business owner and would like to support this nonprofit, Michelle Russell would love to hear from you. And Dr. Thompson, it's been great talking to you this morning. Thanks for what you do and have done for many, many years here in our community.
Brian, thanks for the opportunity to be here.
Absolutely. Dr. Roy Thompson joining us today. And a reminder that if you missed part of the conversation on the show this morning, we'd invite you to go to the podcast section at WGNSradio.com or wherever you listen to audio, whether it's Spotify, Apple Music, iHeart. Plus, on YouTube, Big G TV, watch all the shows there. Just search for WGNS.
Greetings, friends. This is Lenny Farmer with the Jennings & Ayers Funeral Home in Murfreesboro. If you ever had to deal with the final arrangements of a loved one, funeral